making your way in the world today, you really need a pod. Why don't you put your headphones in and give this one a shot? Wouldn't you like to just listen away and go to a place where everybody knows who you are? Listen to two guys brew ha-ha, Cold Street Brewery and Full Buddy Cast, two of the greatest names. Why don't you go and listen to this episode?
Most of it has a ringtone like that.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Or like a text, ding.
Ah. So something comes through, then
cheers one. Yeah.
Well,
it's a good ringtone. Oh yeah.
All right. Well, everyone, thanks for listening to another episode of Full Buddy Cast presents BrewHaha. Two guys that grew up in the same town together, reconnected later on in life. One is an owner and operator of the Cold Street Brewery here in Enumclaw. His name is Sean McDonald.
Cheers. What's up?
And myself, Travis Kenny, create a dumb podcast and have people like Sean on that I enjoy.
Just drinks beer, talk beer.
Just drinks beer.
That's all I do.
And Chris, you can go ahead and throw those headphones on. We also got Chris Drewley here as a guest audience member / guy who's going to like laugh in the background like those radio shows that don't. He doesn't say anything. He just laughs.
Beer tender from Cold Street Brewery, Chris Drewley.
And then we have another guest. We're just loading up the guests.
We have a guest star.
Our guest star, yes. I only know his first name. So why don't you go ahead and give the whole details.
I'm sure I could find what his last name is, but I know him as Arthur from Scamp Brewing.
Yes.
Scamp Brewing down in Auburn. So another local brewery. Welcome, Arthur.
Thank you.
All right. So, Arthur, you brought a beer. We're going to jump right in because we love beer.
We're just going to talk about the beer right off. Beer first.
What is this beer?
I started, this is my amber ale. It's called Control Malt Elite. So I started like middle of the road type of thing.
Okay. All right. What's the
Control Malt Delete?
Yep.
Control Malt Delete.
Yep.
And then what's the ABV as we take our sips and all that?
5.4.
5.4. All right.
Nice middle of the road. Definitely malty. It's got a little bit of a lager kind of nose to it.
It's very malty. I used US04, which is very flocculent yeast. It really drops out. It really is a clean profile.
Yeah, crystal clear too.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite yeasts. I'm probably gonna.
Well, I mean, it's amber in color, but you can crystal clear. You can see through it. It's just not clear as in water, but.
Right. I might actually switch this to my house strain for just about everything.
Yeah, that's a good strain. Yeah, for sure. It's very hardy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, are you... is this one of your first brews that you did?
No. I think I started making this one about 2 years ago.
Is it a pretty good seller?
Oh, yeah.
It's delicious.
It's when somebody comes in and they're kind of unsure, I try to steer them here because it's right in the middle. See if they want something more hoppy or lighter later, but
definitely.
It's the intro beer. Yeah,
it's definitely caramel sweet, but not overly sweet. It's got the bitterness, but not overly bitter. Yep, definitely middle of the road. Goes with everything too. Amber's great for any food. Yep, it's always a go-to. Like, I'm having dinner tonight. What should I have?
And then I use it in the fall. I add pumpkin pie spices and make a pumpkin beer out of it.
Oh yeah.
And just for those 2 months, it sells really well. But once you get outside of September, October, November, and it doesn't. But
So no pumpkin spice year round?
No.
If you could, would you?
No, actually, no.
No, because it just doesn't sell. No.
Well,
just outside of those, if you have too much, you'd rather run out than have too much.
I meant for yourself. I didn't know if you liked it.
No.
For me, I like peppermint mocha all year round.
No.
So I didn't know if that was a thing for you.
So you said you started this beer about 2 years ago. So that means you've been in business longer, 2 years?
About 4 years, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Give us a little rundown on Scamp.
Okay, so we're in Auburn. It's about, if you're going to Emerald Downs, it's about 2 signals down from there. Okay. So it's right in the middle of Auburn.
Okay.
About 4 years ago, we opened up, It's just me and my dad there. I brew, he sells.
Yeah, I can never remember your dad's name, but I see him selling beer everywhere.
Yeah, he's
Scamp.
He comes up to Enumclaw pretty often. We sell beer up here, Jim.
Yeah.
And so, how did you get involved? Did you guys just together one day say, hey, let's do this?
Yeah, I started homebrewing about 10, 11 years ago now. About 11 years ago now. Yeah, and just It was funny because I was listening to the previous one, and it's a common story where like it just kind of made sense to do it like while you're doing it, but then you look back on it later and like that was crazy. Like,
I took some chances. Like, put everything on the line, and it worked out.
That was kind of dicey for a little while. What were we thinking?
Why'd you choose Auburn? Are you from Auburn?
I am from Auburn. It's actually just a coincidence. I looked all over the valley.
Okay.
Down through Puyallup and Sumner and Auburn and Kent and Tukwila, and it just so happened that it was like a couple blocks away from where I went to elementary school. Ended up at.
Oh, you went to Dick Scobie?
I went to Dick Scobie, yeah.
Oh, I did too. We were just talking about that
earlier.
No
kidding.
So I went to Green River Monastery, which is on the corner there.
I went to daycare there.
And we might have known each other in daycare. Holy shit. Small world, right?
Small, yeah. Actually, I went to Dick Scobie and then I went to Cascade.
Okay.
And actually, I found out just in the... So I did Hops and Crops, the Auburn Beer Festival.
Right.
And somebody I went to junior high with came up and recognized me because I was in the local paper when I opened up. And he mentioned me, and I was like, I kind of remember you, but that was a long time ago.
Sure.
So
yeah.
I dug up my junior high annual that I had still, and I looked at it, and I was like, wait a second. And I looked up, and I saw Luke from Lostwoods actually went to
Holy
Cascade.
crap.
He was a year below me, yeah.
Small world.
And then I texted him his junior high picture.
Nice. Yeah, it's such a small world.
Yeah.
So junior high, did you go to that same junior high?
No. I went to Green River Monastery. It was a Catholic school when I first started going there. And then that was kindergarten through second grade. And then I started going to public school in Enumclaw in third grade.
What year did you go to high school?
When did you graduate? We got to be honest.
I'm just trying to figure out how younger than you are.
I graduated in 98.
Oh, I'm a year older than you then. I mean, you're younger than you. I
Yeah.
graduated in 99.
Yeah,
So you guys may have played together.
Most likely we were
You
at
guys
the
may have
school
played
at
at some
the same time.
recess together.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I know,
probably.
right?
Maybe you
It's a small
guys
world.
could have been Master Blaster. How tall are you?
6'5".
There you go.
Holy shit, 6'5"? Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
Beast.
Well, I was. I'm probably like 6'3" now.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Wow. So so Luke didn't go to that school though. It sounded like he went to the middle school.
I think I talked to him. He moved. He went to Auburn High, and I went to Auburn Riverside. So we just that 1 year, but it was kind of funny looking that up.
So Auburn's just kicking out brewers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Auburn's got a lot. Like,
Yeah, we got 3 breweries now.
Wow.
What a hotbed.
Yeah. So are you? So you? It's like one of those things you think about it forever. That
Yeah.
And then what made you guys go for it though? Bite the bullet.
I think maybe I just got better brewing, and I thought, let's go for it.
Yeah. Did you have support? Like, did you have friends that were like, man, this is good. This is good. Were you selling it outside of your garage?
Well, no, not selling it. No, but I think we just.
did you start in the garage, like selling out of the garage, or did you went straight
Straight to
like
that place, yeah.
commercial place, and then
Yeah.
right.
That
That's
took a year to find, because at that time we were coming out of, because there were the 08 recession. We're coming out of it at that point. That's probably 2015, and so it was hard to find a place because a brewery is going to cut up a place pretty bad, with the floor and the ceiling, and so it took a good solid year to find that place.
Yeah.
And so when you jumped into it, how are your brews like? Or I mean, when you were starting to get the bigger. Probably brews, right?
Right.
Larger.
So let's start here. What size system are you brewing on right now?
It should be about 4, but it's actually like a 3. The kettle, I don't trust the kettle enough to do 4 barrels in it.
Okay.
Okay. But
so it's about the same size as what I'm brewing on currently. Yeah.
But brewing up, as funny as actually thinking of stories. So I think you'll like this story. So we got everything done. We got built out, licensed. I go in to brew my first batch of beer. I picked in an oatmeal stout because it was pretty simple, not expensive to make. You get it going, and brewed it. Everything was fine. Went relatively good. Got in the tank. I took the gravity. And I was expecting about a 1054, 1052, 1054. It was like 1030.
Oh shit!
yeah, exactly.
Off a little bit.
So wait.
That's high.
Speak to me like I'm 5. What does that mean? Yeah.
So you're gonna be high.
Well, no, it was like it was gonna 10. I was expecting 1054. It came out like 1030.
So and got good mouthfeel and it's gonna taste good, but
no, it's so I was like, yikes. So I was like, I'm tired. I'm gonna go home and I'll deal with this tomorrow.
Yeah.
And so I went home, and that night I was thinking like, I basically missed it by like 50%.
Oh.
And so I was just thinking to myself, like at night, I was like, am I going to like relearn how to brew right now? Like, what was wrong? And so I went in the next day, and I have a spectrometer, and so I checked on there, and it was about right. So then I was like looking at it more closely, and my hydrometer had a crack in it, so it was taking on
water,
taking on liquid, and so that's why it was so much off.
Oh, okay. So then it's like, oh, yeah.
So it's faulty equipment, not faulty brewing.
Yeah.
So did you feel good? Did you feel, did that confidence immediately come back again?
Yeah, it did. And then the beer came out good, and I was like, okay, get going on this.
So that was almost your worst brew, but it was actually a good brew.
No, it turned out good, yeah.
Yeah.
Turned out fine.
Or what you thought would have been your worst brew.
Right. Would you like to hear my worst brew?
I would I love hearing about the worst brew.
So, well, there's a couple infections along the way that I figured out and cleaned up, so I won't count those because that wasn't intended, But it's not the worst brew I ever made, but it's the funniest. So I made this last fall. One of my founding Mud Club members was on a quest for me for about 2 years to make a malt liquor. And I did.
Oh, wow. So tell me the steps on this. So you brewed it and then like rebrewed it, like add some more sugar to it to kick it back off, or
no? So I kind of looked around because like, how do you even like? I didn't. So I just said well, so it was basically some pale malt, then a lot of corn and a lot of sugar and almost no hops. Lager is like 7.5%, and I don't categorize it as my worst beer because it was
good
for what it was. It was fine.
Fit into that, huh?
But like this guy, his name is Jeremiah. He was committed to drinking it after 2 years of
bugging you for it.
So
if nobody else drinks it, I'll drink it. Yeah.
So I made a smaller batch. I didn't make 3 barrels of it, and so a couple people had a pint, a crowler or 2 went out, and then he drank the rest.
Did he like it? Was he like?
Oh yeah, no, yes.
He was so.
No,
thrilled.
he wasn't gritting his teeth.
Did you name it after him or anything like that?
No, actually, I named it. This was one of because there were steps along the way to get me. I'm at 1% making it. Now I'm at 2%.
Yeah.
At 3%, and then I came up with the name Old Auburn 1891 Reserve, so that got me up to 5%. And so that was actually because there's a tipping point. Like you get 6, then it comes.
Yes.
Yeah. Then So he didn't grit his teeth when drinking it, and it was kind of a sad day when it was over. The keg blew, and I wiped it off the board and was like, the malt liquor era is over.
Is
You're
it
not
ever
going to redo it?
No.
Is it never coming back?
No.
Not an anniversary?
Yeah, 5th year. I mean, you're coming up on the. Is it coming up on
4 year? And I'm probably not gonna have a party. It would be in April, but like what can we do?
Right now it's tough.
Yeah,
that's where honestly my last 2 years. So I mean I turned 7 this year, and even last year I was turning 6 in February. I was trying to do the move to the courier, and it was like the whole COVID was just starting. Like I was like, I'll push it out to March, and then March we had the shutdown. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
No, I didn't have a 3rd year. Mine was in last April, and we were to go only in April, so I didn't do a 3rd year. I think
commemorative 40-ounce bottle would be sweet.
That's the thing. 40-ounce bottles are not easy to find.
I know. How cool would that be?
That's not a common bottle size to get at a home brew store.
Right? Yeah.
Well, I see that you've got like 4 or 3 other bottles here. What do we got?
Yeah, we got plenty of beer to drink.
Next.
I love brewers that bring beer.
Kicking up. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. This is. Yeah, I filled these this afternoon. This is my Scottish Wee Heavy. This is going to be significantly stronger.
Ooh, Wee Heavy. Nice. Good time of year for Wee Heavy too.
Right. This one is 9.3%.
Ooh.
Yeah.
9.3. 9.3.
9.3.
Ding, ding, ding.
Sean, you're not getting any of this. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah,
and
of course I'm the last one that gets
You're
it.
not old enough.
That's not the strongest one I brought either.
Oh my gosh.
But he's staggering them.
Yes, I'm staggering them.
He is staggering them.
So
that looks good.
It's going to be very, very malty, obviously. Little peat smoke.
Because it says a Scottish beer. Mm-hmm. Comes from the Isle of Scotland.
This is actually the one I won a gold medal with at the Washington Beer Awards.
I saw that.
2 years ago. They didn't do it last year.
Was that
19.
12?
You gold medal.
19, yeah.
Yep.
Nice job.
Yep. There's actually a funny story. I had, so that was on Father's Day weekend with the Washington Brewers Fest.
Yeah.
And Auburn wanted to have their own alternate local thing. So I was doing that. And so I was getting her for that. And yeah, Luke from Lostwoods texted me, hey, congrats. And I was like, for
Like,
what?
didn't even know. Yeah. Like, what? I want something?
I was like, oh, that's awesome. I got to go now to this festival.
Yeah, it's good use of peat. Peat
yep.
can be such a rough one. It's like it's a fine line between
Yep.
just enough or too much.
So this is in 3 barrels. I used about 5 pounds out of
That still seems pretty high.
300, whatever it was.
Still seems pretty high with peat.
Yeah. And actually I have like a spreadsheet of ideas and stuff. And this was on there for a while, and I was going to, do it in the fall or winter. And I had made a grain order for, they had sent me the wrong bag of grain in one of them.
Oh, yeah.
I ordered.
We always get the random bag like, I've never heard of this grain before. I guess I'm just going to use it.
Well, yeah, no, that's what happened. I ordered Special B, and they sent me Special X. And Special X is like 150 level bond.
Yeah. I've seen
Crystal
that one
malt.
too. Yeah.
And I sat on the shelves for a few months, and I'm like staring at, because I'm going to return it, I'm just staring at it. And then I combined it with this, and I brewed that, and I was like, oh, that'll work because it's really high caramel malt.
Yeah.
And it worked. And it took off, and now it's a year-round regular.
Oh, is it year round?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. No, it still sells well in the summer, too.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever I've done Scotch Ale and wee heavies, I do them, like right now, like March.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. Just kind of like St. Paddy's Day, that sort of, it's Scottish, but still kind of the same thing. I've held on to it. So with the Scottish Games in July, we've done it for them as well, but they're just kind of, they always buy beer. They don't bring in small guys. So
They're not that picky.
So where do you get your ingredients usually from? Like do you have any-
Country Mall Groups in Vancouver.
yeah, the same place I do.
Yeah.
We all get from the
Okay.
same
Yeah.
place. We
Pretty
all.
much, yeah.
That's why we like share loads sometimes. And
Oh, really?
smaller guys, we're always trying to co-op, sort of.
Are you a trader too? Do you like to do you trade around or
Like he's talking like on the hops bracket, kind of. Have you ever traded hops or?
No, I've bought hops that somebody's over contracted on.
Yeah, same. Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it.
Kind of looking at that where sometimes you get on there and you're finding, like a year old one, half the price of
If it's
what this
vacuum
year's.
sealed, it's still fine.
I know. Yeah.
For that, yeah, I've done that where I'm like, I need a pound of or a couple pounds of Chinook, but I can buy 11-pound box for like $70. Let's do that.
Might as well just bring it all in, right? Yeah. For sure.
what's your most tedious brew? The one that is
Oh, that's coming up.
okay. All right, so we'll table that.
That one's
one
the
then.
last one,
We'll
yeah.
table that one. Then what's your
In general, the higher, most hoppy ones are tedious
the more tedious ones?
because it's gonna suck up. It's just and with my kettle, I'm very prone to boil overs with high hoppy beers. So
okay.
those are the irritating ones.
At the hop break, it keeps going up and up and up.
What's Scamp Brewing? What's the word? What's the name?
Oh,
Scamp
okay.
come
So
from?
that's my cat.
Oh, for real?
Yep, for
named
real.
Named it after your cat?
Yep, yeah. Well, okay.
How old's your cat?
He's about to be 10.
Okay.
So actually, I have 2 cats. They're brothers, and I got them at the same time when they were kittens. I go into the first. They're like in a cage. There's two little kittens, and they were very calm and peaceful, and just like looking at everybody, and it's like, okay, that's nice. And then I went to the next cage, and there's 2 10-week-old kittens beating the hell out of each other. And I said, those ones.
That's what you want?
Yeah, those 2. Yes. And so,
Excitable ones.
and,
Yeah.
and that never stopped. And
Oh,
so,
were they did you say they were related or just
They're brothers, yeah.
Oh, brothers. Okay,
same,
so-
from the same litter.
Gotcha.
And so I named them because Tough Guy names like Breaking Bad is on the time, so I named one after Gus after Gus Fring.
Gus Freeman. Yeah.
And the other one was silver gray hair, and I named after Polly Walnuts with the silver tips and Sopranos.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna watch
okay.
that. I haven't watched it yet. But
Sopranos?
Oh yeah, no.
Oh, shit.
And I'm on a mafia kick right now.
Oh,
so
Sopranos is a
I
good,
cannot
good
wait.
flick. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
There's a lot of good stuff in Sopranos.
So then they grew up, and Gus became a massive troublemaker, obviously. And we started calling him Scamp because that's what he was. And then I think I was come up with the idea for the brewery, and I was going to name one of the beers after him. Then I just named the whole thing.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
There you
At
go.
that point.
Yeah.
That's dedication. That's love.
We have, if you go to my tap room, we have one of our family friends was an artist. He's been an artist for over 50 years, and he painted a big mural
Really?
of them in it, in like a barrel room with them, and then my dog too.
Nice.
That's awesome. So how big is that painting?
I think it's 3 feet by 4 feet.
Massive. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Holy cow. People go there and take pictures of it if they
They
check
have,
in and
yes,
stuff
they
like
have,
that.
yeah.
And that's what you encourage that they go on Facebook, take a picture of it when you guys are able to have people come in.
Yeah, that happened in the past. Yeah,
Nice, cool.
Where exactly is it?
Yeah, you said it's 2 streets from.
yeah. It's on 15th Street in Auburn, the main drag there. When
Yeah,
you get
it's-
off 167.
So the way I would explain is like we're coming from Enumclaw because we're
yeah,
from
you
Enumclaw.
guys are coming the other way.
So we come down Auburn Way north. When you get down there and there's a Denny's on your left.
Take a
and-
left on
yeah,
15th.
Denny's is
Not
gone.
anymore.
Oh shit. Well,
Left
don't
on
use
15th.
It's the signs of the times. It's a mod pizza now.
Oh, okay. So you take a left like you're going to 167 right there. You go past Fred Meyer.
Time, my head just exploded.
Yeah.
That's not a Denny's anymore.
No,
Yeah.
they tore that down last summer. Yeah,
Oh wow.
It's been gone for a long time. Yeah.
it was
Long
the Denny's has been gone for a while. The building was torn down last summer.
Wow, and now it's a
Wow.
mod pizza.
Just about to be. Yeah, they're about to open.
Oh wow. Okay, no free ads. Sorry guys. Okay.
So you come down
Okay,
Auburn
Nita.
Way north. You go past the Fred Meyer, and the next light.
Yeah, I'm a couple blocks from the Fred Meyer. Yeah.
Yeah, you go the next light. You take a left, and there's. I always remember the Chinese buffet is right
Yep,
there
yep.
across. It's the same parking lot.
Yeah, it's
kinda.
right in the center of the parking lot.
So you pull into that parking lot, and he's on the left. The buffet is on the right.
Mm-hmm.
And there's only one Scamp Brewing
Yeah,
that you know of. Is there another?
I looked and there isn't.
There's not another one. So you can just throw that in your old Google Maps.
Yes, on Google Maps.
No,
Boom.
who uses technology? If there's beer, you don't need technology.
Are you,
Homie beacon.
I like it. Do you have any Pokestops around your area?
I don't do Pokemon.
You keep striking out trying to ask everybody about Pokemon. This guy is big time into Pokemon.
Dude, here's the thing.
hard pass on Pokemon.
I gotta share this with Sean because it's gonna be a while till I see Sean again.
Oh no, he's got to bring.
I'm so mad, but this whole time I was actually in I never got logged out. I just wanted you guys to leave me alone, and then I just go, you know what?
I almost told you that. What are those guys called? The rebels or whatever the hell, the people the bad guys.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, they stole your.
the
They
grunts,
stole your.
all
Yeah,
that.
they stole your thing.
Just so you know, I looked into it because you changed. You were red team with me. You changed to yellow, right? Guess who was also on yellow now?
Oh, what?
Yes.
No fun. Damn
I
it.
know you guys don't kick me out. You got to wait another year until you can change teams again.
No, I just have to have enough points. I have enough points. I can change.
Well, we'll see.
Oh,
Anyway,
maybe
I
you're
just
right.
had to reveal that to him. I'm so sorry because he hasn't seen it yet because he's
God
been
damn it.
busting my balls on Pokemon Go. But now,
I don't play Pokemon, but I do have friends that do, and sometimes I catch the conversations and I get stuff like, so and so was kicked out of Algona. I'm like, what?
no one. There's a lot of people that should be kicked out of Algona.
Yes.
What do you have to do to get kicked out of Algona?
I don't know, man. Say Pacific's better. I have no clue. They got even like what Boeing metal like
Boeing's right there, yeah.
yeah, but they got that like they had that huge thing like 10 years ago. They found out all the soil was contaminated from the stuff flowing. Hopefully not getting your water for your brewing from Algona.
I've tested my water. It's fine.
Auburn's got a lot of water. I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's the lowlands. It's,
Yeah.
it's the valley.
So,
a lot of good farming land.
So what would you be doing? I like to ask this question. What would you be
Yeah.
doing if it wasn't brewing?
I mean, I don't know. Like,
What did you do?
well,
Prior.
if I wasn't, like, if beer was completely off the table, like, if I was,
Can't work in a
It's a
tap
passion
room.
for
Yeah,
you guys.
can't
It's,
open a
it's really
tap
hard for
room.
you guys to answer this. Not against you, but you guys, this is a passion for you guys.
I mean, I'd probably do something else crazy, like something in food, like a bakery or a barbecue
okay.
place. I love to barbecue.
I could see that.
So it's still about flavor.
yeah,
Yeah.
flavor. Yeah.
Beer's about flavor.
Putting things together and being there for the
Yeah, I
long
love
haul.
barbecue. I love baking. Both of them, yeah.
What's your favorite thing to throw on the barbecue?
So grilling, burgers all the time, but smoking, I smoke ribs.
Yeah.
And,
Are you a Traeger guy, or are you a regular
charcoal.
I'm a charcoal guy too.
Yeah,
Yes.
no propane. You
Nope.
got
Nope.
take the time.
Yes, agreed. Good job.
Slow and low.
Yeah, that was my birthday was a couple weeks ago, and I barbecued, even though it was February.
Yeah.
It was raining out, and I posted it. Yeah, it's my birthday. I don't care if it's 45 and raining. I'm going to barbecue right now.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what's our next beer? What's the?
Okay. We'll go with the sour next.
All right.
Oh, another
Going to
sour.
sour.
So this is a whiskey barrel aged sour saison.
So one of our Patreon subscribers, Kellen Hall,
Yes.
has asked about sours. We made an episode where we kind of answered those questions, but I mean, since we're drinking a sour from somebody else, we can also
Sure. So
touch on that right now.
it's a
What's the question?
So
I made a saison, just a plain straight saison.
oh, he touched on that too. So he asked about farm. He asked about sours, and then he asked about farm styles and farm styles saison. So touching on.
So I made. First of all, I bought a whiskey barrel from Woodinville Whiskey.
Okay.
And I let it collect wild yeast. Okay. And so I made 3 barrels of saison, which is exactly half. Split it in half between kegging it regularly and putting it half in the barrel. The barrel I put in there for about 10 months. So it was clean, went in the barrel, and the barrel soured it.
Right.
And
So you just introduced outside wild yeast. You didn't do Saccharomyces or one of the.
I didn't add anything.
Okay.
You said it was a whiskey barrel.
Yeah.
Is this? Does it?
Woodinville Whiskey.
Am I just hearing that, and so I taste it, but I taste a hint of it, or
There's some notes from that. Yeah.
yeah, okay. I thought I didn't know.
So I wanted to touch. Actually, I know a really great brewery. I don't know if you know this one, but down in Arizona Brewing. So there's a great brewery down in Arizona. It's called Wilderness Brewing. So what they do is they take like a small part of their wort, they put it into some type of vessel, and they take it to different areas, and they put it out there, and they let whatever natural yeast that's in the area. So Arizona's great because it has desert, it has it has mountains that are super high, it has all kinds of it has high residential areas or really open rural areas. So they kind of do the same thing.
Yeah. And that way I had a very low risk of cross-contamination because it's just in the barrel, plug up the barrel, and that's where it all is. And this is actually the second beer I made out of it. I made it a Flanders the first time.
Flanders Red.
Flanders Red, yep. And then I just took that out and put the Saison in, let it go for 10 months. And I think I'm going to put a brown in there next.
So Saison yeast is
yeah.
is a farm style yeast. So it can be used all different levels, all kinds of different, farm styles. Basically, if you're on a farm, you take whatever you have and you throw it in there and use it as something to.
Right. So the
catalyst.
regular one, I used the Saison yeast, and it was very lemongrass, pepper type of thing, and some little citrus notes in there. And this one, I mean, the barrel went to work on it, so it cut out some of that and added the whiskey flavor and a little bit of sourness.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's got some tartness to it, but it's not like over blow up your mouth like a. It doesn't have any type of cider, little touch of cider notes, I guess, but not really.
No, that's I checked it after about 7 months. I started checking it once a month to see when it was, because even after 6 months, it wasn't sour really.
Yeah,
and so I just started checking it.
Nice.
And is the sour on tap year round, or is it?
No, this is a one shot deal I did
Because it's the barrel.
The barrel, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I could do it again, really. I mean, it wasn't that hard, but
was it? Did you say it was 1 barrel or 3?
One whiskey barrel, which is about a barrel and a half of our
gallons, yeah.
So it's on tap currently then?
Yes, it is.
Okay, right on. And do you have any sort of we go in there? Let's say, because I've never been to Scamp.
Oh yeah.
Do you have any reward system? Do you have any swag, shirts, hats? Do you do anything that people can buy as a souvenir? Stickers?
Just stickers, really.
Yeah.
We had glasses and stuff, and I will restock at some point after.
But right now,
not right now. No.
Yeah, actually, so we should touch on that too. So the big bear in the world right now is the COVID. Like,
sure.
how's it going? What have you been doing? What are your pivots and Where you
Well,
at?
it's been tough because we had that first 3 month stretch where we just to go only, and business was about a third of what normally was during that time. And then when we had indoor seating, that picked up pretty good, almost to normal, not quite. And then we got that shut down. We had to do outdoor seating, and
Yeah.
it's been.
Did you pop up a tent? Do you
We do-
outdoor seating?
I have an overhang, so I don't need to do a tent.
Oh, okay.
Did it blow away almost a couple weeks ago with that big windstorm, or did you guys get any of that?
No, we had the snowstorm, but not a windstorm. But no, I haven't.
They're in the valley.
Yeah, we don't get as much
That-
They're
weather.
in the valley, man.
It's not as weathery down there. But no, we have an overhang over our sidewalk there. So
So like an awning,
yeah.
what I have coming. That's maybe up now. I don't know. I doubt it though. It'll be up before summer.
That's good.
But
Check it out.
yeah, I mean, other than the snowstorm, since February, we've been allowed to have limited seating again. It's been pretty goodish. In the tap room, outside sales have dropped significantly because other bars are struggling.
Other bars aren't really moving beers fast.
That's been the biggest decrease. Biggest increase is people buying kegs for their home kegerator.
Yeah,
That's
for sure.
a lot. I was surprised. Yeah,
Yeah.
almost probably more than bars in the
Yeah.
past year.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
it takes quite a bit of, it's hard to gauge that. Bars you can kind of see when they're going to need beer or when you want to go shop beer to them.
Yeah, sure.
Versus like a random person coming in and getting retail. You don't know when that's going to happen, just
No,
randomly.
I have a handful that are pretty consistent, and so
That's good too. Then
Yeah.
you can have the rotation like,
Yeah.
oh, Keith's about ready to run out. Have a keg for him. Yeah.
What's your favorite beer that you brew? Your favorite one?
What's your favorite beer in general?
oh, favorite.
We can say that too, but it's always like
Because that's kind of.
like we are.
Well, I think that is two questions though, because beers that I love that are just a pain to brew, and
for sure.
and that are a lot easier. Well, if I'm at if I'm at the brewery and I'm having, winding on a brew day and I want to have a glass, I usually take the Saison, or the. I almost brought my coconut Russian stout, but I didn't want to bring 3 9+%
Really strong beers. Yeah. I love a Russian stout though.
And so I made a last second decision to bring in the amber instead. But like if I'm out drinking, I usually try to find something I've never had before.
Yeah,
For sure.
I'm one of those guys.
Always getting like I've never heard
heard of
that
this brewery, so
or
yeah. Brewing just for my own drinking, I usually brew Belgian stuff because I know it's so expensive to buy and I know it's not that expensive to make. So
Right.
I
Sure.
that's what I make for myself at home.
Make a lot of Belgians. So I have a follow-up question on that same line of thoughts. When you're not drinking at your own establishment, taking a day off or whatever, where's your go-to?
So
Watering
these days, I think probably the place I go to most is Red Hot in Tacoma.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's a great
them
spot.
a lot,
Yeah. Good hot dogs, a lot of great beer.
Yeah, a lot of great. And they do, they got their IPAs, but they got a lot of other interesting stuff too.
They also have a lot of imports too, like
Sure,
harder to find imports
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
They don't have just your standard, Samuel Smith, and they have more harder to find imports. Yeah.
Yeah, that's that place. It's tough because some of my places have closed, but
Or it's
Yeah.
still to go sort of thing.
yeah. So I went out a couple weeks ago. I went out to Narrows Brewing in Tacoma by the bridge, and I was like, "That's kind of a trip, so let's go early and hit some places on the way." And I was like, E9 is the only place that's open. They're good, but that's the only place I can go to.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of harder these days.
Yeah. Tacoma's a really tough zone. Yeah.
Has there been a beer that you've had at another place that has inspired you to try it yourself?
Okay, probably yes, almost certainly. I should have known that one beforehand because I could have thought it better. But
We could go back to it.
yeah, let's go back to that one because I'm almost certainly.
Okay. Speaking about pandemic, because we're kind of still talking about the pandemic just a little bit.
Actually, yes, I can answer that right now.
Okay.
Russian River, anything by Russian River.
Anything by Russian.
Yes, and Stone because they put out their recipes.
Yeah.
And so I spent my early homebrewing days learning how to brew from those recipes, and
Yeah.
those two breweries are probably the biggest too. Yeah.
And then you kind of honed your own with those recipes, did you?
Yeah, then I put
kinda
my
tweak it to
well,
yourself?
start tweaking it. Add,
You're already using different water, different,
yeah, sure.
90% of beer is water. So
Yeah.
using different water counter is going to make that beer your own.
But I think the first time I made the Planet of the Eleanor Claude, I was like, because I've had it in the bottle before and it was good, but I didn't see, because who knows the trip that it took up here. But so I homebrewed it out their recipe they put out. And
That's why they don't let it ship
Sure,
out
yeah,
anymore.
absolutely,
It's
yeah.
only in Sonoma County.
yeah, so that one definitely changed my brewing perspective. Yeah.
And since we were talking about the pandemic just a little bit, was there any time, I know 'cause everything was so muddy and murky at that time, but if you knew now, or knew then what you know now, that it was going to still be like this full
Year later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything you would have done differently?
Exactly.
Yeah. To kind of combat it or work through it better.
No, there's nothing really you can do. I mean, we're kind of limited in what we can do, and I did the best. I have done the best that we can do to keep things going.
It needs to be fresh. So,
Yeah.
I mean, got to brew it fresh.
Yeah. And since you're the brewer as well, as you said your dad's the sales guy, you're the brewer.
Yep.
This guy will sleep weird odd hours. Are you the odd hour guy? Or
Yeah. When do you brew? What's your brew schedule?
Well, okay. No, I roll in at noon on a brew day.
I think that's what is that what Luke said too?
No, Luke was rolls in at 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
He's
No, that's too
4
late.
o'clock
Swing
to
shift.
midnight or
No,
something.
that's
something
too
like
late.
that.
I want to
Yeah.
get home for dinner. That's too late.
So you're at noon till
5:36. Yeah.
okay, and are you strictly focused on the
Yeah,
brew?
yeah.
Or everyone else leave me alone.
Yeah. So I've actually had a couple of people come in and help out, like
Pitch in,
Pitch in.
volunteers, kind of watch, kind of learn.
scoop the grain out pretty much. And so,
Do all the grunt work. Yeah. Here's a hose. See that? Wash that.
Yeah. Hose that out, please.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go eat lunch now. Hose that out. But
Got to start at the bottom.
so, but I've had that, and they come in, and afterwards they're like, "How do you do that by yourself?" And I'm just like, "Because nobody's bothering me. I don't know. Just I'm there.
Focused.
Yeah.
And are you listening to music during that time? Podcast?
No.
Completely nothing.
There's nothing on. No.
It's just your own thoughts.
No thoughts. It's noisy. You got the pumps going and stuff.
Yeah. Would we ever talk about? Are you rocking anything in your ears, or are you just?
I throw on some music, and I always have a notebook. I'm always throwing ideas down because, it's a lot of time to yourself. So you got things thinking.
Yeah, thinking.
I'm always writing down stuff like marketing strategies, different brews that I want to do. Like, this is going good, but if I tweaked it right here, what would that do? And then running those numbers, that sort of thing. Just that sort of thing.
Nice. Cool. Well, I'm going to finish this, and then I think we're getting our next one.
All right, for the grand finale.
Yes. And you said, and as you're popping it,
okay.
As he's popping it,
as you're popping it, you were. I think I forget what question it was that I asked.
The most difficult or
yes, most tedious.
Tedious. Yes. It's this one. I brew it about every 4 months or so. I'm going to pour some and let how much you guys want to have up to you because it's a triple IPA. It's 11%.
A triple
Yeah.
IPA. I don't think I've ever had a triple IPA.
so that'd be the same as the Plenty of the Younger. It's a triple IPA.
Yep.
We were just touching on Russian River.
Yep. I call this one Tropical Contact High.
Tropical Contact High. I did want to point out the names. We didn't throw out
Right,
all these names.
okay.
So the first one, the
Control Malt
Amber, is a Control Malt Delete.
Control Malt Elite.
Yeah.
That's a pretty awesome name.
However much you want, 11%.
And then
and my
then
axe.
our sour one was Sour Dippity.
Sour Dippity.
That's a good one.
And then my Scotch was And My Axe.
And my axe.
And
Lord of the Rings.
My axe. Oh, Lord of the Rings.
So I wish I can take credit. I take credit for Tropical Contact High. That's the only one. The other ones I farm out to friends who are very much more creative than I am.
And then
Nice. I tried farming out to friends too. Shout out Craig.
Craig Bentley.
But he always throws out stuff that I do a quick Google search and it doesn't.
Yeah. I check on tap sometimes, and there's if there's nothing in the state, you're okay.
Wow.
Or you look at the size of the brewery.
Yeah.
That smells good.
Oh yeah.
You can.
Very aromatic.
That is a foot away from my face, and I gotta.
Yeah.
So what hops have we got in here?
Okay. So in order of prevalence, I'd say Simcoe, Mandarina Bavaria, Mosaic, and Amarillo.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's a pain to brew.
Is it your best?
Well,
is it one of your
especially
best
in your-
sellers?
It sells out. I don't make it enough to be that, but
Yeah.
it sells out fast. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's got some fire. Woo! It
Yeah.
is triple.
Yep.
That is.
What are we
good.
sitting at alcohol? What is
11.
it? 11? Ooh, yeah, that's right.
Wow.
So in your system, so is this
Smaller.
so you have to brew a little bit of grain, drain it off, brew a little bit more grain. How are you doing the triple in the 3 barrel?
Well, no, I don't make 3 barrels of it. I make a smaller batch of it.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, so you have more room for the grain.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Because I do a regular series of big beers, 11 percenters.
Okay.
Generally, a longer mash rest, make it more fermentable.
Okay.
2-hour boil. Take off enough wort to get at least 2 hours of boil,
Yep.
and that's
So double.
and
your
then
boil.
lots and lots of yeast.
Yeah. What yeast are you using on this?
That is actually London 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, look, I mean, I do a 2-hour boil, so it's clear, but it is London 3, like most.
It is still a little foggy.
Well, yeah, but it's not like a hazy, like
Yeah.
which is what most people use London 3 for.
Yeah. London,
Speaking of hazies,
I don't like hazies.
I was going to say, Luke. I swear, I think hazy
Hey.
came.
He and I are on the same page.
Why? What?
We don't like hazies.
Yeah. Did Luke say the same thing?
No.
Luke liked them.
He makes a good hazy.
He makes a great hazy.
He makes great hazy, but it was almost like someone say
It's
like,
begrudgingly. It's begrudgingly you make it.
Hazy is taken off. Like everybody asks for a hazy IPA, and I put it out there, and it sells fast. It sells
yeah,
like hotcakes.
yeah.
Well, it
But
reminds
it's-
me of someone playing a guitar like a tribute band. And someone's like, "Play Freebird."
Yeah.
And it's like
I
you know,
can.
the band's
No
like,
problem.
well,
For me, I always run into it. Like I go into, I just have certain things that I do, certain steps that I do with the hazy. It takes away a lot of those steps. So when I'm making it, I just automatically start clarifying, and I go, "Oh shit, I'm not supposed to clarify."
yeah.
I automatically chill freeze to try and drop the yeast, and it's like, no, you just let that go. Goes against all my basic,
brewing
just
habit.
what I normally do.
And honestly, I don't dislike them. I'll drink them. They're fine. It's kind of frustrating that they've taken over the beer world so much.
So does that mean that you're having to make more of it because people are asking for
I
it more?
don't make it.
Oh, you don't? No. You refuse.
Yeah, someday.
Draw a line in the sand and say, hey,
Yeah.
So for the 5th anniversary, put it up there now.
Because I like a lot of stuff, a lot of different stuff. There's not many stuff I don't like style wise, and so I like to have that on my board. And so I got like 3 IPAs out of 16 taps, and like 3 of them are IPAs, and I think that's enough for me.
So someone walks in or they call up and they say, "Hey, I want to pick up a growler or a crowler. I want a hazy."
Okay, so actually I make a hef. I make with Citra hops. So it's not as bold as a hazy, but it kind of hits the same points with the juicy.
And so
and the
then
cloudy but juicy.
So do you do the whole like, here's my
New
hazy,
England
or do you
style.
go, actually, I don't.
No,
I don't
I
do a
say-
hazy, but
I say
do
don't,
one
but you
super
might like
really
this.
close.
Yeah.
And, you're gonna like it. And,
No,
or
I
is that
don't.
your-
No,
or is that your dad sliding in there with the sale? Is he the sales guy?
Yeah.
Is he the one like schmoozing him with the words a little bit?
He might be. I'm not there when he's selling.
That is an interesting take, too, in a Hefeweizen and then throwing some Citra hops in there.
Yeah.
Nice sweet hop, but,
Yeah, you get the citrusy flavor, but it's not nearly as like big and bold as a hazy, but it's got the same profile pretty much.
What's your favorite name? Like you've come up with a few names besides Scamp. Okay, that's probably your favorite name, I'm guessing. But what's your favorite name of beer that you've named something?
Okay. I love this name because it hits me and it pissed off a lot of my regulars, and so which was a double bonus. So actually, the Saison, I actually pissed off one regular. Everybody else kind of got it, but the Saison, I made that, and then I took a couple kegs out of it and I infused it with oranges. So it's like a French Saison with oranges, and my friend pitched to me, call it a Saison Saison. Do you get it? Saison was a French artist who painted oranges.
My brother's gonna get that. He's gonna love that joke.
So most people, enough people got it. one of my diehard regulars didn't get it at first, and I explained it to him, and he begrudgingly drank it after that, pissed off about it.
You got any follow-up, any final questions? I know we're kind of getting towards the end. Anything that you are dying?
No, you kind of touched on it. So I wanted to know your drinking spots and then what genres are your favorites. But I'm pretty sure like Belgians are your favorite. Just because there's not enough out there.
Yeah. I can't just go to the Fred Meyer and get one.
Yeah, it's harder to find, definitely, for sure.
Do you have any beer glass collections?
I do. I have probably 30, 35. I use like 4.
Right? Yeah, me too. Yeah, I have all the specialty ones that I could pull it, but I'm like, no, I'll just put it in this.
Yeah.
Because you're a brewer, does your friends and family, do they buy you, like, is it always beer-themed gifts for Christmas and birthdays and all that?
No. But if I get money or something, that's what I'm going to spend it on. So
Yeah, something beer-themed in general.
What's the craziest thing that you have either bought yourself or that you've been given that's a beer-themed a brewery?
Yeah, a brewery. Yeah, that's exactly. Yes, that's the craziest thing I've ever spent money on.
As long as it works out in the end.
All right. Well, any shout outs? Sean, we'll go shout outs before we head out.
Well, I do have a big shout out. I want to shout out Ryan Henry Ward. Local artist. Ryan and I have been friends since childhood. We were in Boy Scouts together. Him and Andy's his little brother. But he's always been great. He paints beautiful portraits. If you go into Seattle, it's crazy. You drive around Ballard and you're like, oh, there's a Henry. Oh, there's a Henry.
Right.
I'm like, I know him. But he's also like hung really great paintings up in my brewery. Unfortunately, the beautiful cow painting, that's why I'm thinking of it right now, because it just sold. Somebody purchased it, but he promises to bring in some new ones, a fresh one that he's just going to paint up just for us.
Excellent.
And throw it on the wall.
Excellent. That's awesome. I know Andy, his brother. So I think I wasn't until Facebook did I even know that Ryan was just amazing artist. You'd start seeing these pictures pop up around Seattle.
He does a lot of stuff. He does sculptures. He does, paint. Like if you go over to Roslyn, he's painted like at least 8 different houses in Roslyn. Like the whole side of their house has his painting.
Really?
Yeah.
That's insane. That's crazy. Yeah, if you guys don't, he's got his own style. Check it out on Facebook. But it's kind of like a cartoony. It's not really cartoony, but it is definitely it's a wild painting of like usually animals,
mostly animals. Yeah.
And there's one I saw with
adventures type stuff.
I think one guy was nude and he had a long beard, and he kind of looked like you a little bit.
Oh, wow.
Maybe that's what he could hang up there in the old you and me together, nude.
All right.
Shout out! I'm going to shout out Andy Ward.
Yeah.
Let's just shout out the Wards right now. Andy Ward, I hadn't seen him for quite a while. I saw him at the Ski Inn like 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. I was with Mike on the mic, and he I still have like high school brain where you get intimidated with a few guys. You still see him, and you're like, this guy is a cool guy. He's a funny guy. And I know his buddy Aaron Mayer really well, and so that's kind of how I knew him. But I kind of still like stood on the sidelines when I saw him again, and like it's so stupid. But he like kind of like shakes hand, hey Mike, sees Mike and sees a few others, and then looks at me and then kind of like keeps kind of like nodding away, and he turns back and looks at me, and goes, Travis Kenny, and I'm like, yeah, you probably don't remember me. He goes, no, Travis Kenny, you gotten fat. And then the rest of the night, I heard about that for weeks from my friends, actually, after that. So that was nice. Chris, you've been nice and silent over there. Been the good. Yes, thank you so much. We'll give you a time if you want to give a shout out. Give a shout out. Did you shout out your kids yet?
We talked about them a little bit, but yeah, my wife and 2 wonderful children, and my son-in-law and my soon-to-be daughter-in-law. May, yes, for my son. So yeah, family.
All right, good shout out. And Arthur, what's your any shout outs for you?
I don't know. Thanks, Sean, for asking me to come up here. That was nice. Yeah.
Yeah, support local. Just, we're all in this together. You're not that far away. Auburn, half hour, 25 minutes?
Yeah, 25,
something like that.
yeah.
Love
I'll
your beer.
stop. Now that I know where
Don't
it is,
stop what
I'll
you're
stop.
Yeah, absolutely stop in there. All right. Well, thanks for coming on here, Arthur. Any final words before we head out of here?
I guess that it all. Yeah.
All right. Well, it's great meeting you. Thank you for coming on. If you're a local brewer and maybe Sean doesn't know about you and you're listening to this, hit him up. We'd love to have you on and support local and get you.
Even if you're a home brewer.
Yeah, put you in the rotation. So, and then we'll also get more as things become unlocked.
Yeah, definitely we'll do updates on what Scamp's doing down in Auburn if they have events and new beers, that sort of thing.
Yeah, so things that start getting, if you have any events or anything down the road later this summer, if it is open.
Well, so I usually have 2 big events each year. In the summer solstice, I call it a summer stouts disc, and I make 4 big stouts. I couldn't do it last year, but I did the year before.
Yeah.
And then in the winter, I do the same thing, but with big IPAs in the winter. I'm going forward as if I will be able to do it, because I have to do it now if I am. It would be in June. If we can, I'll be ready for it.
So if you don't, do you still have it available for growlers and kegs and stuff like that?
I'll put them on individually and just run them off individually.
So you'll still have
I won't have an event.
Gotcha. All right. I feel like you were going to jump in there before we sign off.
Well, I was just saying, also shout out to our bottle share thing. So that's another great thing that I found out about Arthur and his love of Belgians, because he used to bring some really amazing Belgians to our bottle share.
Oh, so you guys are part of the whole Illuminati bottle share club.
Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Yeah.
Still do that? Sometimes.
In the summer, we will be doing that. Yes.
All right. Well, everyone, thanks so much for listening. Please hit us up. Send messages, send DMs, send shout outs, anything you want to us, and we'll talk about it on the air. Thanks again, Arthur, for coming out. Everyone, again, have a great week, and thanks for listening.
Making your way in the world today, you really need a pod. Why don't you put your headphones in and give this one a shot? Wouldn't you like to just listen away and go to a place where everybody knows who you are? Listen to 2 Guys Brew Ha Ha, Cold Street Brewery and Full Buddy Cast, 2 of the greatest names. Why don't you go and listen to this episode?